Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the channel today. I'm so excited. I'm going to be turning my acoustic drum kit into an electronic drum kit using my Roland TD-27KV. So let's head on over into the studio and get this project started. The drum set I'll be converting is a Sonor SafariKit. The kick drum is 16 inches with a 14-inch floor tom and a 10-inch high tom. I'll be using Roland power ply mesh heads to replace the drum heads on this kit, 2 Roland RT30H triggers for my toms, and 1 RT30K for my kick. And then I'll also be using all of the cymbals, the hi-hats, and the snare from my existing Roland TD-27KV drum set, along with the TD-27 module for my triggers and all of my drum sounds. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna have to do is take my old drum heads off. So got my drum key and I'm ready to do this thing. Actually, I have a few drum keys, so I'm gonna get an extra one and make this a little bit faster. All right, first one down, 2 more to go. Okay, there we go. So that was roughly about a 5-minute, job to take all the drum heads off. And I do recommend that if you have 2 drum keys, it definitely made it a lot faster using 2. So maybe keep that in mind when you're doing yours. So all of the old drum heads are off, and I am going to be putting on my new Roland power ply mesh heads onto my drums. So let's hop to it. Can't believe I'm finally getting to do this. I've wanted to get rid of that ugly electronic drum set vibe for years, and I finally just pulled the trigger on these mesh heads and I'm just super stoked, man. Now, one of the cool things about using mesh heads and turning your acoustic kit into an electronic kit is that you don't have to tune these heads, so it's super easy. Alright, so far this has been about a 20-minute job, and that includes talking to you guys. Now, I would not suggest doing this on arm day because it is quite the workout, but other than that, pretty simple. So now, we're going to get our drum triggers out. I am going to use these drum boxes to house my drum heads for when I switch back and forth. It might seem kind of like a daunting task, but I don't personally play drums every single weekend, so I don't mind switching my kit from purely acoustic to electric. This is a fairly easy job and I don't mind doing it. So I'm using the Roland triggers, and I'm using the Roland RT30K for my kick drum. Now, I'm only using a single pedal when I play my kick, so it says to put it to the right, away from your high tom and your snare. So mine's gonna go right here, but if you're using a double kick pedal, it says actually to put it up here at the top so it'll detect each stroke from each pedal. But I'm not having to worry about that, so let's go ahead and put mine on. Oh, glorious. Wow, that's it. It feels wrong. It feels like there should be more to this, but I'm just going to trust the process. Quick side note. Thank you, Roland, for giving us the cables for the triggers and not being cheap. Well, not being too cheap. So for my toms, I'm using the Roland RT30H. Now, this is the single trigger. It's not the dual trigger. I'm hoping I don't regret this. I guess technically if I really want the dual trigger, which from my understanding triggers the rim sound and the head, then I can do a quick swap exchange on Sweetwater, and we just love Sweetwater because they're just so sweet. Anyway, but I just don't think that I'm really gonna miss it on my toms, so we'll see. So on this one, I'm just gonna put it away from where I usually strike my floor tom. So I'm gonna probably put it to the far right. I'm still using the RT30H for this tom as well, which I think is pretty standard. I am gonna put this one also to the right because I have a tendency to hit more up. Okay, there we go. All of the drum triggers are on the drums. I'm gonna go ahead and get this drum set up, and we will reconvene here in just a few moments. So before I start setting up my kit completely, I just wanted to tell you guys that when you're using these mesh heads, do not use your felt kick drum beater on these because it will tear it up, and mesh heads are not cheap. I went over to Luke over at the eDrum Workshop on YouTube. I saw that he recommended these Remo Falam patches. So that's what I'm going to use on my kick drum, and that way it'll stay nice and pristine for a long time. Okay, here it is. It's all set up, and I've been plugging it into my Roland TD-27KV module. Now the only thing I had to do was change the trigger from the RT30H to the RT30HR because for some reason it just wasn't giving me the most accurate triggering, but now it is, and I freaking love this thing. Today is the day. I finally get to use my newly converted acoustic to electric drums at a gig, and I'm super excited about it. Let's see how it goes. Your mind, lay back and brew in mind. You got to feel that beat. We can ride the boogie, dance a beat of love. I wanna ride. Give me your attention, baby. Gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, who you're sexy lady. But you're walking right here like you wanna be someone else. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Say one of these Sunday mornings, oh no, you're gonna be wiping your weeping eyes. Well, there it is. I had my first gig with my newly acoustic to electronic drum set. And I gotta say, I don't really have any complaints. The triggers all worked perfectly. I didn't have any issues with them. I really enjoyed playing it. It looked super cool. I got a ton of compliments on it. The only thing that I could say, and it was my fault, was that I dialed in a kit and then forgot to hit save before I left for the gig. So I had to dial in my kit settings when I got to the gig before we started. So that was the only bummer that I had. But other than that, it was a fun gig. The triggers worked well. I'm super glad I did this, and I cannot wait to use it again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe.